Here. Okay. Let me do one other thing. I'm going to make Jim and co-host and Robert. Lee Win, you got my co-host notice, right?
Hmm?
Lee Win, I sent you a co-host notice. Did you get that?
No,
Okay, let me do it again.
where did I see it?
Yeah, it made you one, so you're a co-host. So that's so you can share.
Oh,
It did it automatically. You're good. Okay, I want to welcome everybody to our October exhibit comment night.
Hey,
Just
there's
just a
Lynn.
week,
There's Joe Pimbo too.
yeah. Yeah. We're just a week late, but Jim and I and a few others were out of town last week. But I think we probably wouldn't have been able to have a meeting next week anyway, because a lot of people had no power, which was me. I had no power. So we wouldn't have been able to do this last week anyway. So it was kind of a good thing we shifted it a week. Um, Actually, I did have power by Thursday. I take that back, but we weren't here. Anyway, people were dealing with other things last week. So it's a good we kind of pushed this back because of us being out of town. I don't see any new people here today, so that's good and bad. First thing I want to remind everybody is officially on October 1st, we can start renewing our membership for the next year. So you could go on to the website and go to the membership area and renew your information there. Go ahead and fill in the form again just to make sure we like to check and make sure nothing's changed. So fill in the form and then go to the bottom of the page and click on the PayPal thing so you can pay your renewal for the year. If you know of anybody who wants to join, has been holding off because it's sort of towards the end of the year, if they join now, they get the rest of the year and all of 2025. So if anybody's kind of holding off that you're well aware of, let them know that they can go ahead and join now and they're good for the whole all of next year. Just a few announcements. The assignment for November is multi-layered panoramas, and Robert's going to be talking about that at our education meeting next week. So if you're not sure what that means, he'll be telling us how to go about doing those so that's the November assignment. That's our last assignment for the year. Um, the education night, obviously next week is our last education night, and it will be our member takeover. And there's 5 or 6 of us that are going to be talking briefly about one subject. Obviously, Robert's going to be doing the multi-row panorama. I'll be participating. Lee Wynn, Leon, and Jim Sykes. If there's anybody else that's interested in doing a short talk on one little subject, let me know as soon as possible so I can work you into the schedule. The assignments, the board had their retreat in September, and one of the things we did was spent several hours talking about assignments for the 2025, and we came up with 11 assignments that I think you guys will enjoy. And I've got to get those to Jim. We assign them to months. Jim will be creating the descriptions that go on them, and then we'll publish them on the website. As soon as they're published, I will let you know. And the board is also working on, we came up with a bunch of different suggestions for outings for next year. We will let you know as soon as we've, firmed up some of those and, the dates and all that stuff. So be looking forward to doing a little bit of traveling, nothing far, but, maybe a little farther than normal next year. We kind of are running out of places close by, unless you guys can think of something. So we're going to have to delve out a little bit further, but trying to still do some interesting stuff over the course of the year. Just to remind everybody that our annual holiday party and annual awards are on December the 8th, which is a Sunday. And that will be at 1 o'clock at Felipe Park. Hopefully, hey, Leeway, did you check out the park and see if it's in one?
No, right now it's not open yet.
Okay, hopefully by December we'll be, if we're getting close to the date and we don't have a park available, we'll come up with another venue. But at this point, we're still planning on being at the same location that we have been, meeting in the last few years at Felipe Park. I will be putting the details on the website next month, along with the sign-up sheet for the potluck dinner. And so be thinking about your push pin, which is now our clothesline photo. Those that aren't familiar with that, what we do is we bring one image that we have not shown in the exhibit comment night over the course of the year. And in this time, you get to actually talk about your photo. So we have the photo hanging up where everybody can see it, and you get up and you tell a story. So it's a photo that's got a story behind it. And it can be a funny story, it could be a serious story, it could be an educational story, but something that you can talk about for in just a couple of minutes. And it's a little different than what we normally do. But that's one of the things. We also have a raffle of free items that we buy stuff that everybody gets. Usually almost everybody gets a gift, if not everybody. And I think we're doing a 50-50 this year rather than the auction, or not the, we've been having a silent auction. We decided to try something different, and we're going to do a 50-50 raffle, or 50-50 raffle. You put in I can't remember the dollars right now. We'll have those details when we put all those stuff on the website, but the club gets half the money and the winner gets half the money. So could potentially be some money for you. So that's what we're planning on for the annual meeting, along with the awards and all that stuff we'll be doing at that time. Jim, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I've got one quick announcement. The mid-November outing that I'm doing, due to a couple logistics changes, is actually changed location. It's going to be in South Florida now. It's easy to drive through. I have a couple of openings now on that. If anybody's interested in finding out about it, just put something in the chat. But it'll be mid-November, South Florida, 3 days, 2 nights.
Robert, do you have anything to add?
No, there's been a lot of changes. Not a lot of changes, but a few changes with Adobe. So update your Lightroom and your Photoshop, and if you have any thoughts and/or questions about them, let me know, and then we'll have some preliminary discussions prior to our meetings.
Okay. I noticed the Photoshop beta has a distraction removal added to the remove tool now. I tried it the other day with some wires, and it did a fairly good job. It just took a long time. So be prepared. It evidently, it's AI related. And so if you have a Photoshop beta and you haven't updated, you might want to try updating it and see how the distraction removal tool works. So, okay. Anybody else have any comments or questions? Nope. Okay. Lee Win is our monthly member feature slideshow person today. So Lee Win, you can go ahead and share your screen and do your slideshow.
So okay. So I'm gonna do.
Yeah, you just need to go to down at the bottom. It says share.
Hold on one second. Let me find out that.
It's all the way down to the bottom. It says share, and you click on it. And then you're going to want to click on
Why I don't see share?
You might see a more button over there. See if you see a more.
A more button. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me get that thing off.
I don't see that more button though.
You have to move your cursor.
Huh?
You have to move your cursor down.
Yeah, go all the way down. Take let it pop back up down at the bottom of your, when you go down to the bottom of your screen, does a whole bunch of little icons come up?
Yeah.
Okay, well, one of those is share. The one sort of in the middle, it should be share. And you just click on that. And then over to the right, there's going to be a couple of things. It says enhance video. You want to click on those. And then you can bring up.
I feel so bad. I don't see anything say share.
You should have emailed me the darn.
I know. Can I email you now? Oh, now they're coming up. Now I see.
Okay, you found it?
Yeah.
So if you click on share, all right, there you go. Okay, now go ahead and click on your slideshow.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can see it. Go ahead.
You should dismiss her doom.
Really, really slow. Hey, Leewin, stop it. Stop it. Stop it for a second.
There's a better way to do it.
Yeah, there's a better. Jim, explain to her if you can.
Okay. Go ahead and dismiss that warning that's on your screen.
Oh, okay.
Allow for 1 month.
Okay. Go ahead and close the movie. Okay. Now you're going to have to stop sharing.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Stop sharing. Now I don't have that thing anymore. God, this is too hard. Okay. I could not find that button anymore.
Oh, look at the top. Go up to see
Yeah.
at something at the
It'll
top.
be red.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything red. Oh, I should have emailed this to you. I don't have a red.
Go ahead. Just go ahead and email it to me.
All right.
Just to my personal account. Hopefully it'll come through.
Link, is that my TBCC one? I'm gonna email
No,
that.
send it to my personal account.
What is that? Is a link?
Yeah, LYNN. You're right there.
Okay,
The email
I got
account there. Yeah. Just make sure you attach the link. All right.
Uh-oh.
You got it?
No, it won't be that fast.
It won't be
Yeah,
that-
that's way too big to go as a standard
Yeah,
Gmail
that's not
attachment.
gonna work. Yeah, it's too big.
It's too
Yeah,
big.
it's not gonna work.
It'll work. It'll just be sent to the drive,
Yeah. Well,
Doesn't work.
and then we'll do it at the end.
let's.
Oh, now I see stop sharing.
I'll just try again, Jim. Did she now she stopped cheering? Try it again.
Okay. Now, you're going to hit your share button again, and then you're going to get a screen with some options. Don't do anything until I tell you what to do when you get that screen.
So I'm on the same screen.
All right, hit the share button. Okay.
Okay. Uh-huh.
All right, now you should have a screen with some options. There should be a tab on the top that says Advanced.
Yeah.
All right, under Advanced, you should have an option to play video.
Yeah.
Okay, click that and then browse to your video and play it from there.
Yeah, but hit the share button first.
Well, that it will bring up her player. That should bring up her video player.
She's not sharing anything yet.
Yeah, but when she does, once she launches the video, it should bring up her video player.
There you
Is this,
go.
And then you can play the movie when you're ready.
Nice.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. Now. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Very nice.
Oh, you can unshare now. There you go.
Okay.
You get this figured out.
Sorry about it. Okay.
I will give it tomorrow so you can send it. We'll get it. You just send it to me so I can put it on the website.
Sure. Okay.
And
Okay.
they have really improved the place at Animal Kingdom and Epcot where you shot all these.
Very funny, did Robert.
That was National Geographic stuff right there.
Yeah.
I just want to know if you made H shake get all the way up on top of that one sand dune that was like a curve.
Actually, believe it or not, he did climb to there.
Stunning, absolutely stunning, beautiful.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
And guys, once I put it on the website, you'll be able to see it. I know the Zoom kind of makes a mess of it. So once we put these on the website, you can see them a lot better. So I'll do that. Soon.
Beautiful.
Anyway.
Those
All
are
right,
some
guys,
really
let's go ahead
interesting
and
shots.
start
That again.
with our exhibit tonight. I'm going to share my screen. Can you see Lightroom?
Yeah.
That's
Deja vu.
New Mexico. All right, let's get to it here. Where are you? Not very organized tonight. Okay. The assignment is low angle perspective. And the first one is big gun. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I need to get my score chart. I'm going to plug in my iPad because it was about to run out of juice.
I was looking at that end on the right-hand side. I thought, that doesn't look like a gun.
There's the gun right there.
I saw the error of my ways.
Okay, hold on a second. Sorry, not organized tonight. All right. Come on. All right. This is Mark's picture, and the score is 22.6. Go ahead, Robert and Jim. And Lee Win was our third judge this month. Anybody else who'd like a comment? Go ahead.
Yep. Like how we picked out a leading line to take us to the subject from the foreground there. This is something that would have benefited from even more from focus stacking, getting focus in the front as well as in the back. It probably would have only taken 2 shots, maybe 3 maximum to do that on this one.
Mark, are you familiar with focus stacking?
Yeah, I've tried it some with the new camera that I've got, does some of that automatically. My old camera, the camera that this was taken with, it didn't have the focus stacking, which I mean, I still could have done it with, inside Lightroom or Photoshop. And
Photoshop can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, even just even this is one that even wouldn't have even needed those techniques. Just a composite with a mask of that's a really cool foreground, and with some sharpness to that foreground, that would have been even cooler.
Yeah.
Robert, any comments?
Go ahead, Brian.
I'd like to see it cropped without the, whatever that is, the flagpole or whatever on the left, and that part that says kit. I just think that is both of those things are a distraction.
I won't argue with that. That brings the gun to be even more prominent in the image.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is Chapel of the Holy Cross. This one is Susan's, and the score is 23.6.
I have a question for Susan. Was the inclusion of the person in this photo deliberate?
No.
Oh, because I felt it really helped give it a sense of scale.
Yeah.
No. To be
Yeah, it makes it
honest,
look much bigger.
I was so busy working at the top two panes to keep them from being dark holes I just really didn't pay attention to the person.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't pay attention to it because it's good.
Yes, I actually felt the person there, it lent a sense of scale, and like the fact that the color of the clothing they're wearing complements the sky and the reflection in the glass.
It also
Good.
makes them stand out from the red rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Our classic red jacket wouldn't have worked. Red jacket person would not have worked on this one. We always want a red jacket because it stands out, but it wouldn't work here. Robert, any comments?
Oh, this is one of those shots where it requires something greater than a cell phone.
Well, that's what students shoot with, so.
No, on that, I'm not saying that as a criticism to Susan and what Susan shoots. It's not why I'm saying it. I'm saying it because there's so much texture and detail here. And when you put it up against, we call it iPhone 15 or whatever, all these phones, is that you lose it. You lose it and it becomes more of a painterly type of image rather than one that has all of this massive amount of texture and layer upon layer of interest. So that's my criticism.
It's a beautiful picture. Can I see some? I maybe crop some on the right side towards to the left, and then this one's the right, seems like a right, and the center. Yeah, and keep that person there. I would leave left side alone. Yeah.
Yeah, it actually makes the person more prominent. Less rock there. Don't be afraid to crop, guys.
Go back to
What
the
is
picture.
What is that building?
Church of some
A
sort.
Chapel of the Holy Cross.
Oh,
It's in Sedona.
a chapel? A chapel, okay.
All right, go back to the first picture
Right there.
for me.
There.
I was about to comment when Brian actually stole my thunder
Talking
by
about-
saying exactly what I was going to say. I want to go back to this picture, and Mark, I want to ask you, why did you include that pole on the left-hand side?
Mark left his building. You don't understand.
Don't really know right off the top of my head because I edited this one several years ago and stuff. Looking at it now, I probably would. I don't know that I would taken out the heart there, but I probably would have cropped it a little bit just past that pole and stuff.
Now, why? Okay, now
And part of that probably was the aspect ratio to keep it, in sort of a 4:6 or 4:6 aspect ratio.
because that 4:6 keeping something based on what is the norm is killing this photograph. And I asked the question about it because I wanted to know your thinking. That's pretty much what it is. And when Brian pointed out that removal of that line, let me at least give you a reason as to why that line is a problem. You see the ladder that's going up?
Yeah.
You see your leading line that's going up? Right, you see that?
Yeah.
Off in the peripheral on my left side, there's another line that keeps pulling me, and when I get there, it's like, what is that?
Yeah.
And so when you get to that part about saying, what is that? It has no significance. Then you go, why is it there? And once you say, why is it there? Your whole image falls apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and don't forget that any kind of writing, any kind of words are going to also pull naturally pull your eye away from your
Mhm.
subject.
But in this case, Lynn, there's writing all the way throughout.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
But
there's
this is much
graffiti
more
all the way
prominent.
around it and stuff. So,
This is much
But
more prominent though. This one is so.
yeah, but
yeah.
I'm referring to those strong lines because you gave me a very strong line in the lead in, and Jim pointed out that just
Yeah.
the sharpness alone of that would have been really, really, really strong.
Yeah. Yeah, that was what I was going for, was that leading line, sort of leading you straight to the gun and stuff.
Well, just
Mhm.
as something leads you to the gun, you give me a pole over there to take me out.
And I'm going to make a comment about the aspect ratio comment. Yeah, never crop your image to fit a photo lab print.
Yeah.
At right aspect ratio. Make the aspect ratio of the image you show your audience match the subject.
Mhm.
Right.
There's always custom matting, custom framing. There's the drugstore standards are nothing you need to hold your artistic vision to.
Yeah, and that's the thing on some of them that I have printed out that, I just, cropped them to the what I wanted and then just did a, like a black border around it to fill in you know, to fill in that space.
We don't even need borders. All we need is the image.
Yeah.
All right. Can we move on now, Robert?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We're going to go to this one, which is Plitvis. This is Lee's image, and the score is 24.7.
We're just
Yeah, that's a great curve, taking you right toward those waterfalls and then curving away out of the frame. I like how it vanishes into the foliage without actually exiting all the way to the frame. It kind of helps hold you then around where all that colorful foliage is and around the waterfalls. It's very nicely composed. Nice ethereal, dreamy look to it with processing as well.
Thank you.
This is the kind of, this assignment was my suggestion, and this is exactly the kind of photo I had in mind when I suggested it.
Robert?
Yeah, left-hand side, black branch in the foliage there. Small, but very significant to me.
Yes.
That one, yes.
That angled one, yeah.
Yes.
It breaks the flow of everything else over there.
Yes.
Too
All right,
picky.
Lee, you got a branch sticking in there.
Sorry about that.
It's a good time to cut the branch off, right? Too picky.
I know, but I got to do something to Lee. Lee is on a comeback tour.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next one is Well Rooted. This one is Tories, and the score is 23.2.
Give me a full frame of that, yeah.
I'm looking at this and not being there and not seeing everything, I don't know, but I'm wondering if a couple steps around to the left and following a different route up would have taken you more up into the top of this tree without having those palm trees all over the left side of the frame.
okay.
Yeah, in other words, if you had shot it from this direction over here, up
Yeah.
this, then you would have had these.
And let us be taken up into that tree itself without necessarily having those other trees on the side.
These are kind of like Mark's poles and his gunshot. So,
Yeah.
but an interesting tree. Yeah, those
Okay.
great big rooted trees are cool for shot.
Yeah, I think so. I wasn't thinking about those trees in the background actually, but I see your point.
Always work your subject, Tori. Take more than
And pay attention to all four corners.
what's
Right.
sticking in.
Corners and sides.
A good in theory, you could have just if you'd stepped one step or two steps to the left, you would have a much better composition here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You might be able to crop it out a little
Then
bit.
you cut all this off, which is important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, it's a lot of times it's just a matter of moving around, and we don't think about it until we go back and look at the picture and like, oh my God, I wish I walked the 2 steps to the left.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I just thought that was a super cool tree. I love those roots. I'm fascinated by trees anyway, but just that all those roots are exposed. Yeah,
okay.
And I like the texture of the tree.
Tori, if you're, I'm hearing you say these things, but I'm gonna jump on your case. So get ready.
I know. That's expected, Robert.
What you have here is you have the tree trunk and all of its branches. But what I'm not seeing is I'm not seeing the character of the tree. You cut it off at the top.
Right.
You only focus then on the bottom portion to say that I have a low angle.
Yeah.
These trees are telling you so damn much about themselves and their surroundings. So tell that story.
So
start though with the low angle.
Tilted it up more, Robert?
Absolutely more of this tree.
Tilted up 2 steps to the left and then tilted up more so that in a wider angle so that you got more of the tree. And in terms, you could turn the camera around and done a portrait.
Yeah, and that's also part of why I was expecting that we might see if the perspective was from a couple steps to the left. This tree arches back down toward the ground. It has a bunch of limbs that reach back down toward the ground, and we would see more of that's what that tree does from over there.
Where did these come from? Because you can't see what's up here.
Right.
Going up and over.
Yeah, I guess I was concentrating mostly on the lower part of it. That's true. Because it's a low angle. So yeah.
That's a literal sense.
A little bit more tip up. Yeah, would have given us a much more better view of the tree. All right.
Okay.
Just do one thing for me, Lynn, and let's go ahead and activate your crop tool.
Yeah.
Grab the upper right-hand corner and pull down and in until you get no more sky. And yeah. Whoa, not that much. You can go up a little bit. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And and see if that's more what Tori was, thinks she was focused on.
Yeah.
That looks pretty cool too, I think.
Looks like an alligator.
I think that's what was grabbing your attention. And it was a case of you either needed to include a lot more or a lot less.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't really
lower more of a low angle and facing up a little bit too. So you could have set the camera right here.
Right. Well, I kept the camera very low to the ground, but I didn't tilt it up enough apparently.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Next one is trolley. This one is Lee's, and the score is 24.6.
Lee.
Yes,
Lee.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, come on, man.
What did I do?
You got a problem.
I have many.
I mean, you butchered up the composition of a really good thing.
Why do you say that?
Okay. Before I go on, you see those 2 lamps on the right-hand side?
Yes.
All right, they lead you around. You see that circular atrium there is leading you around.
Okay.
Right? And then you get down to this nice bokeh-looking light things at the bottom of the street that's leading you in.
Yep.
And you see that strong line on the left-hand side of the train?
Yes.
It's got way too much weight. I need something more to the left of that.
You mean he should have made it wider? I mean,
Well, yes, I need something to balance that.
I don't know.
That's an
I think
abrupt
it has a lot
stop.
of tension, and which is not a bad thing.
Say again?
I think I like the tension of it.
If you're gonna give me tension, then crop into that pole.
Up into where?
On the left-hand side, just come in, just slide, now come back out.
Yeah.
Come back out.
There, right there.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Right to the very edge of it.
Right. So now I have something there that stops me, rather than something that's going to take me partially in and leave me.
Just a minor little thingy.
It's always
Yeah.
minor.
Yeah, that I was looking at that exactly what Robert did, and the light on the right hand side just being the street lamp up on the upper, yeah, right there, being sliced right on the edge. But other than that, this has this has a really cool kind of commercial feel to it. That really shallow depth of field being sharp right there, and everything else kind of glowing. And it even looks like the bottom of this would be a great place for ad copy to be posted in an ad. Like for the Tampa streetcar system or public transportation or whatever. It has a really nice look about it that way.
Go full screen. I know, folk, you hate my voice. I hate it too. But that is, yeah, look at that. Without that little extra there, Lee, come on, man.
I was back and forth about that left side, and then it kind of cut off the bokeh down at the bottom, which was the only direct line right to the back. That's the only reason I left it in.
Well, that light line on the edge there does not bother me one bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Does
no problem
not.
with that either.
Now, Lee was talking about this line right here, though.
The bokeh line.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, well, I'm just letting you know.
I tried to darken that around where that pole was.
Nah, they darken it. It's not going to give it to me. Compositionally, I need more or less.
Okay, gotcha.
All right.
It's
next
beautiful.
one is deer tree. Oops, I lost my score sheet. Here we go. This one's Lee wins. The score is, hold on a second. Score is 24.4.
And this is one where I don't think you'd make that visual connection on the shape of it without seeing it from the low angle perspective.
Yeah, in straight actually it's not look like that, or it's just a tree. So yeah, when it was really, really low to get this shape, it's like a deer.
Yeah, that's what gives it to you in this shot is having that low angle perspective, and that's I'm pretty sure you deliberately did it, and I like that you also have within that lower opening another distant tree back there.
Yeah, and I was trying many times to get that tree inside there.
It almost looks like an animal of some kind, like an elephant with its trunk up, or I don't know. It really is interesting.
You thought it looked like a deer.
Yeah, elk
Oh,
or
maybe
something.
it's a deer.
Robert?
I want the tree in the back to be bigger.
Oh,
I can transform it, make it bigger. That case, it has to make the sand dome bigger.
The only reason I say that because it's so small that it's not mimicking anything there. That I've been playing it in my head back and forth for the last actually about an hour last night on trying to figure it out.
It takes so much time.
And I'm saying if I take it out, then the deer becomes more prominent. If I leave it in, then I need it to have some sort of association with the deer.
you're talking about.
You say you do or don't?
I don't know. What do you mean it has to have an association with the deer?
Every element in your image is associated with your main subject. They're called supporting cast. And that supporting cast gives you a sound composition. It holds interest. The reason why we took out the pole in the first image that came up is because it was distracting from the main leading line. They were competing. So in here you have your title is that of a deer, right?
A deer tree. I named
A deer tree. Correct. A deer tree. Now, what does that one in the back have to do with that deer tree? Other than to pull me to say, what is that?
More deer on the back.
There's a deer
Okay.
far away.
Sorry.
So Robert, are you saying you would just remove that?
I would,
Okay.
because you have two things working here, and you've given me a third. Actually, you have three things working here. You've given me a fourth element. You have the beautiful transition in the sky. You have your red, your deep orange background. You have your main subject that's giving me the element that you're describing, and then I have this little thing sticking up. And I go, okay, now what is that other thing, and what does it have to do with this? All of these other things that are going on.
Jim liked it. Why did you like it?
For me, it gives a sense of scale and perspective and depth as to how far away the horizon is and how far distant things are. It gave me kind of a sense of scale of the environment.
So guys, remember, everything here is subjective.
It always is.
Always
But for my sake, and right now, I want you to take it out for just 1 second. Just 1 second. And then we'll put it back.
Take it out.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Bye-bye, tree.
Either way, really.
Yes, of course. Either way. That's why I wrestled with it for almost an hour.
Yeah, I like that better. That just if it was larger or something where you could tell more about what it is, then it might be. But it just like almost like a hair or something there that was kind of distracting. And
For
stuff.
some reason, when you took that out of there, I noticed the orange hill in the middle there more that I didn't notice before.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. I see the other sand dune back there, which I didn't really notice with even as small as that was. So I still get a sense of the depth of the horizon and
See, everybody has an opinion, guys.
And that's what I love about this. I love the fact that people chime in. I love it.
All right, moving on. Next one is White Rhino. This is also Lee wins. The score is 23.5.
Hey, Lynn?
Yeah.
Zoom in to its chin.
Oops.
Yeah.
Chin.
See that weirdness going on under there? That appears in many places around the rhino, that especially there looks like artifact of masking for how the background was processed. Yep, right there too. Yep.
What do you do,
Yeah. That most likely is from masking from the
Yeah, that's a masking artifact, absolutely, which totally gives away what you were doing to the background.
Okay. Yeah.
But what about the picture itself?
My goodness, you let me down, Lee Win?
I can't believe you're that close.
You let
to
me
White
you let me
Rhino.
down?
Are you done?
Yeah. If you take a beautiful picture like you have in here with all of the impact of this, and then Jim points out your masking, oh my goodness.
because the visual impact of the composition is strong, but it's it's hard to not
I
look at
see
that
that.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. That's definitely from that.
How close were you to him?
This was
Luann was laying down in the dong in front of her.
this was very close.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I was kind of low. This was not on the jib, so it's very very close. So that's how I
believe
got
you're
the
that
picture.
close to white rhino. Jeez.
Yeah.
Is this a topaz mask? Did you use the
I didn't use topaz, but it's Lightroom
for the sharpening, or was the mask from
well,
Lightroom?
this one I didn't really have too much noise on this because it was so
nice.
close. No, it's from Lightroom masking.
I get those sharpening errors on the edge in topaz too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I do use that, but this photo I didn't use the topaz one.
You know what you got to fix, Lee Win?
Yeah, because I need to come back and give you the photo, so I want to choose this one, but I didn't do it. Sorry.
Is there an easy way to get rid of that masking and stuff in Lightroom?
It's
I guess,
just well, Lightroom's automatic masks leave things like that to be desired. You know, the thing is learn to do masks well in Photoshop.
Yeah, because every time I try to do one in Lightroom, then I get that. I get irritated with it.
Before you move on, Mark, I want to show you something. Len, go back to your oh, you don't have the original.
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, go back, go to masking. Go to masking, and select subject. Okay, now go to with the overlay portion down to where the red is, to the three dots where the red is. Three dots to the right of that. Click on that, and then go to white on black. Good. Now enlarge the image. You see where it's missing?
Yeah.
So we take it to say that Lightroom is perfect, but it's not.
No.
I mean, you could work on this a little bit with the added subtraction. But
Yeah.
But you just have much more refinement in Photoshop if you actually just study and learn to do masking well in Photoshop.
I mean, the auto select in Lightroom, to begin with, it looks like it's great, but then when you come in there closer, then it's just like, no, it's missing, around the edges, and then you can kind of go in there and try to subtract some of that or add some of it, and it's very tedious and time consuming. So,
well, if you want your images to do anything as far as having impact, it's going to take some time.
Yeah,
I've been doing this for like 93 years. And I sit there on a job, and I know that the things will be printed, 40 by 60. And you better believe I'm in there on those masks.
Yeah, and I'll say too, a lot of effort went into planning this trip, coming up with the money for the trip, the logistics of flying there and getting there and being out there on a safari and and being there and everything, and then at the end, to do a quickie job on the photo doesn't make sense.
All right, moving on.
Hey, can I suggest a little trick that works sometimes? When you have this like halo or whatever from the mask, go to your contrast slider, turn it way down, and then just trace over that area, and sometimes it just blends right in.
Turn it down.
I won't bore you with any more than that, but that's some things that I've been able to do.
Right, yeah. Helps a little bit.
Just note, Lee Win, don't make me look bad again.
Okay, sorry, Robert.
All right, moving on, guys. This one's called Important People. This one is Brian's, and the score is 22.9.
Here's one of the main issues I have with that. everything in the foreground is not in focus, but if you look to the trees in the background, way in the background, the trees in the background are what's in focus.
Really?
Yeah. Lynn, click on the tree trunks right in the middle of the triangle. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Yeah. Look.
Oh, yeah.
Look at those trees, how sharp they are, and then look at everything in the foreground at how out of focus it is.
I was distracted by the light. The thing about this, you know, the light on the bark is from the flash, but I was able to lighten up the two subjects on left and right with Photoshop, and it was, you know, it was interesting that I was able to achieve kind of the same effect without actually having a flash on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I missed the focus problem. This was an experiment. I saw this one and I thought, I don't know if this is great or not, but I'm going to find out.
I'm happy to tell you.
It's a very interesting perspective, you know, the way the composition worked out with the people in it and whatnot, and yeah, that's where it fell apart.
All right, next one is Cloudy Morning. This one is also Brian's. The score is 24.4.
Brian, you just pulled a Doris effect on us.
In reverse.
Yeah.
Like I said, the first one was an experiment to find out. You know, I want to learn from this. I'm not always putting out my guarantees.
Yep. This one worked well. This one's just lovely to look at.
Nice long exposure.
Mm-hmm. And not too long. It's, you know, it's that nice in between where you get the flow, but you still get the detail. You still see a wave breaking in the background, and you still see that foam in the front, and a middle ground little small wave there. Too long of an exposure, you lose all of that. All that becomes flattened out. This is one of those nice, you know, intermediate exposures where you get the flow and the motion effect without losing, you know, the details of seeing waves and things like that happening.
The moral to this story is, you know, you go out and you shoot even when it's raining, guys. Because this would have looked totally different if it was a sunny day.
One thing that surprised me about this photo, I took it into Photo AI and did a lot of noise reduction on it. I was surprised how much the noise, because it's an f8 and it was on a tripod, and I still had quite a bit of noise on the bridge, and I didn't quite understand why. But
what was the ISO?
500. It's probably just because it was so dark.
Probably just in the processing, pulling detail out of the shadows, just pulled up the noise floor in the shadows and showed it there.
You could have used a little higher ISO, might help. It wouldn't be quite so dark in here. All right, on to the next one. It is the view from where I stand. This is Karen's, and the score is 23.5.
I find it fascinating that there's the different levels of what you see in there. The trees in the foreground, the actual building itself, and then the reflected buildings back there. There's layers of depth that you go through in this that works.
Robert?
Karen, why don't you shoot include more going to the top in order to make it seem as though you were further down the bottom?
Because I was focusing more on the buildings, the reflections.
Okay. I'm saying that because I really would have liked to have seen the low angle more emphasized by showing a higher building.
Okay.
Yeah, if you had flipped the camera around and did you could have eliminated the stuff on the side. Three buildings and your three trees, and then hire more of the building on top.
I was thinking along those lines too, but my suggestion was going to be, if it were possible, to actually step closer to the building so that everything elongates, but then you still have the reflections at the, going up to the top of your frame, but everything goes on. Instead of, if you were here, if you stayed in this position and just put more of this building, you just get a lot more of kind of empty space above these reflections, and it would kind of feel unbalanced with, the amount of trees you have, the amount of reflections you have, the amount of space above it. But had you stepped closer, and then these trees had grown taller, these buildings had grown taller, and that building had grown taller, if everything had grown taller but maintained the same relationship of, the spaces, as opposed to just staying here and getting more of the building and just opening more space above, that was going to be my suggestion.
See, there once again, I tell you what, Jim tells you how.
All right, next one is Rising. This one is mine, and the score is 23.6.
I really like the little sunburst on the line of the mushroom there, and the detail in it. This is the thing I find over and over again with doing this is you get down there and you look, and things that you just don't see or understand are going to be there with your eye are there. There's the big brown leaf on the way that comes out of that big brown leaf up there.
Yep.
I end up doing these shots, and then I look and I'm like, oh crap, then I'm back down on the ground and I'm peeling leaves away and peeling sticks away and peeling branches away, and then because you just don't perceive that that's there when you're taking the picture until you actually look at it.
Yeah, this was taken with my iPhone, by the way, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about the left-hand side, Lynn.
The left-hand side?
Yeah, where that brown leaf is coming out of the left-hand side.
It was just, I could have tried to get rid of it, but it was just too much to get rid of over there.
Okay.
If I'd maybe gone a little bit to the left, but then I would have lost my sunburst.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think I was kind of concentrating on getting that.
Yeah.
And it's easy to do that with the iPhone.
Yeah, I do this stuff and look at it, and then it's like, and some of the stuff that turns out to be prominent like that, you'd be surprised, is sometimes like 5-10 feet away, but all of a sudden, and so you're looking at this little mushroom right in front of you, and you're not even in your mind contemplating this stuff that seems so far away from what you're composing the shot. And then it winds up in your composition, looking like some big part of your composition, even though you're thinking, oh, that's too far away to even consider.
All right. On to the next one.
So the iPhone, you got a sunburst. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I was really surprised. That's like, I like that sunburst.
Mm-hmm.
This one is the beach, on the beach. And this is Mark's, and the score is 21.2.
I have a question about this one. Why that crumpled up piece of metal in the foreground? Why has it been given prominence in this image? Why does that have such weight and importance in this composition?
That's just another rock that's there. That's
a rock?
Yeah.
It's a weird looking rock.
It's just some of the rocks and stuff that were there. I was looking for a better foreground, and I really wanted some better looking, foliage and stuff around there, but everything was kind of dead and dying. So.
I was thinking about, what about just up close to these other rocks where you get just the top of these rocks and all these cool little flowers, coming up that are, even further back, Lynn, further and back to the left, right under the ship.
Yeah, right here.
Go right further up, 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 up. Yeah, all those flowers that are poking up above the rocks there.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, Lynn. Just get a crop box on there and pull the bottom up, and I'll tell you when to stop. And then I would say, like if you had actually walked, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, right there. Yeah. And then, if you had walked up, you could pull it down just a little bit, Lynn, but had walked up closer and then actually done this and given a little more prominence to those. Yeah, there you go, Lynn, right there. Yep.
Now,
There
when
we
you
go.
do that, it's not a low angle shot anymore, is
That's what I'm
it?
saying. You would have to walk up there and then frame it like this.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, I'm just giving a crop here to show you, like, okay, walk up to there and kneel down and do this shot.
I see
Well,
I see what you're saying.
and actually, I was being lazy. There was a chair there, and or a little one of the lounge chairs I was sitting on.
I
It
cannot
had been
believe
it
you.
had been a long day, and we'd been walking around, and so I was just out taking some shots and stuff before the ship left and stuff. And
Yeah. So I didn't even realize that was a rock in the foreground because it's so shiny compared to all the other rocks, and I just kept looking at that and was like, "What is that? Why is that there? Why is that the
Yeah.
first thing the camera is pointed at?"
And what about the brown bag?
Yeah, this thing right here.
that's just a piece of like one of the palm tree things. It's not
Okay,
a
gotcha.
yeah.
It's like a brown bag to me.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna be lazy, man, you can't be lazy and let Jim know it. He was gonna cut you down, man.
Hey, I'll admit it. I'm lazy, and
Yeah, well,
I'm going to take the easy way out if I can. Now, sometimes you can't do that.
Papa Jim is gonna get you, man, no matter what.
So, yeah, I probably wouldn't cropped it quite. Looking at it now, I probably wouldn't have cropped it quite as close as what Jim did, but maybe above that rock that he's having problems with. Just above it.
All right, moving on to the next one is Starfruit Yummy. This is Fongs, and the score is 20.8.
Well, the issue here is it's the camera is above the subject looking down. It's not a low angle. It's not a low angle perspective photograph. It's a high angle perspective. The camera's above the subject, pointed down at it.
It was down and looking up. Robert, anything?
Yeah, that's my issue. You're looking down on it. It's a cute image though, and I'm hungry.
Just to let you know, if you have kidney problems, don't eat those.
Yeah. Next one is Fallen but Beautiful. That is my image, and this score is 23.8.
Man, be ready because I'm jumping on your case.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Your movement slightly, just stepping over toward the right-hand side.
Same thing, Robert. I was going to say, just circle around a few inches to the right, because how that would frame it up with the background with that arch of those trees that kind of creates a frame that would nestle so nicely within that frame of that background.
I even have some like that because I took a bunch of this one. I just even noticed that.
So, since that flower is the subject, is that considered a low angle shot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is a low angle perspective.
Yeah,
maybe you can crop the upper part without the sky.
What's that?
Crop the top, no sky there.
That keeps it. I was trying to do what Jim was teaching us how to do in our class.
and like I say, if the camera had moved around like 5 inches to the right, that background would have framed it up very nicely. With that, there's like just a natural frame in those trees back there, as Robert pointed out.
I may have one like that. I was looking for the one where the flower was the most in focus.
The flower's definitely in focus in that the flower it jumps out at you. It's got the visual impact.
Giving me a composition attack. Oh.
Hey, I gotta get I'm like Brian. I gotta give you one that's not. I like the fact that it was so low and again this one I took with my iPhone as well. So
my heart is bleeding compositionally.
Well, I can't win them all. And I actually picked this while I was in no air conditioning and no power and all that kind of stuff. So I have an excuse. Not really. But that's what I'm using for today. Okay, this one is Thinking Man. And this one is Lourdes's.
Okay.
Score is 23.3.
I like the composition. I like the story being told. I have a question. Is this a sky replacement?
No.
No, no.
Okay, because this is why I asked. Lynn, zoom in and look at everywhere where the subject touches the sky. Do you see the halo? Follow down his pants leg and look. The halo stops when it's not touching the sky, but look, the halo follows the structure, and
Lines along here.
yeah, and even if you go around the other side, there's a very prominent halo everywhere the sky touches the subject,
Yeah, it was taken
including
with my
the
phone.
including the the cement that he's sitting on. There's it gives it gives it a cut and paste look with that halo being so prominent.
Yeah, it was with my phone.
The phone shouldn't do that though, unless you mess with the sky. You probably darken the sky. Probably might be if you did you mask it and darken the sky?
No,
Might have, that would have done it.
Is that your son?
that's my son-in-law.
Oh. Oh yeah. I know that.
All right, next one is make music at Swan Lake. This one is Thongs. The score is 21.5.
Same as before. It's a very nice image, but it's not a low angle perspective assignment.
Could have gotten down here and shot up at the accordion and just gotten the sky in the background. It would have been a better angle.
It's
Okay.
yeah.
Right. Next one is Not Strong Enough. This is Kieran's, and the score is 22.2.
It tells the story. It absolutely tells the story.
Where did it come from? Off of here? Kieran?
It was just laying there on the beach. I don't know.
Do you know? I know what that is. Do you know what that is?
No.
That's the pad that code requires now for your outside heat exchange unit and compressor that your air conditioner is supposed to sit on.
Wow.
That's what code requires for your air conditioner to sit on outside your house.
That's what
And
it
it
is. all
froze.
right.
They probably want to go higher.
So so somebody's probably doesn't have air conditioning for sure.
So since you say that that's an air conditioning pad, that's even funnier because that's nowhere near
Yeah.
where it
Mhm.
should be.
Yeah, that may have been storm surge that took it more than wind. I don't know.
But
Hard to say. But I love
Yeah.
I love the story though that it projects with that label on there. It's
Yes, it's yep. Like I say, very well done to tell the story, and it's the low perspective looking up with that boat, and the composition with the diagonal that you have between the two, and they're balanced in the frame. That was well done.
Thank you.
It looks like it was up to 150 miles per hour. So it must have been a pretty strong wind that took that.
That was in Gulfport
Jeez.
Oh yeah,
after
Yeah.
Helene. Yeah.
I had it rough down there.
Okay, next one is Fairy Ring Mushroom Clump. This one is Kathy's, and the score is 23.4.
Yeah, nice perspective on that cluster of mushrooms, and I know how tiny they are. Those are little itty bitty tiny ones, aren't they?
Are they edible? Jim?
Those, if they are, they're not big enough for me to say that they are. They,
I mean, it really was small.
yeah, those are I know when they're that small. Those are like those are like fingernail size.
Yeah.
So what that clump is what, maybe 2 inches tall?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really was very, very
Yeah.
tiny.
It
And
could
there
be
were so
the
many of them.
Yeah, it could be a cluster of ringless honey mushrooms, but they haven't grown big enough to identify positively as such. They could be any number of things.
And they
But
didn't last. They only lasted the day. I had to go out there several times.
then they were not ringless honey mushrooms. They were not edible. Good thing you didn't eat them. But down in the down in the lower right, there's some kind of a stick or a thing like a dark loop
Yeah, I see that.
down there, and a leaf right next to that had they been taken out, they're a bit of a distracting element down in the right hand corner from the rest of that very nice composition.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about low angle perspective, guys. It makes tiny little things look big.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were tiny, very much so. Next one is Bridge in Shadow. This one is also this one's Sylvia's, and the score is 23.6.
I'm waiting to see if Robert has something to say.
This composition is a little disturbing to me, but no.
Why?
I can tell you why it disturbs me. Because those leaves are in sunlight, shadow, sunlight. They're broken up there. Is there any reason why you just didn't move them, 4 inches closer onto that very first board, all the way into the sunlight?
Keep them all
Right.
Yeah.
And as opposed to having that shadow cross right through them and having that they're in light, shadow, light, and it just kind of breaks up that whole great shadow play that's going on. Had you just pulled them forward into that patch of sunlight and not broken the lines of those shadows, it would have been a great leading in element followed by that shadow play.
Sylvia and I are having a bad composition.
Yeah. But that's a great thought. I wish I'd done it.
Yeah, I'm just the problem is that I got something in the foreground that's not interesting enough to carry me to the background. So I'm disturbed by the composition. And Jim, you pointed it out so eloquently, the fact that it is not in the light.
So just get rid of them altogether might have been the better.
No.
They're a great lead-in element for this shot. That the shot would be shot would be much more boring without them. But
To be right here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly, Lynn.
Got it. Yeah, I agree. I see it now.
Next one is Enjoying the View. This one is Lourdes, and the score is 23.6.
You couldn't find another model? You know I love you, Lee.
I think I would have cut out the sun in the upper left corner.
I don't have a problem with that. That defines the source where those hard shadows are coming from, and actually completes the whole diagonal that's going on in this composition. There's a technical issue that I'll mention in a minute, but compositionally, I like this compositionally, and with that there in the upper left.
On that technical issue, I have the same issue, Jim, but I wanted to know, was it intentional or was it a mistake?
You better tell her what it is before she can answer that.
I don't know what's the technical issue.
Well, the one of the things I'm looking at is the big inverse halo around the subject. The darkening
it's all the way around,
especially in the front where the light should be streaming onto him, and yet there's a dark there's a big fat dark halo in front of him there, where the light, the light should not darken on its path towards him.
You see it right here.
So
You see
that's
that?
what I was asking.
Yeah.
Was it intentional or not?
Maybe it's part of the editing. I didn't. I'm still learning, and I didn't do the
Right.
editing, so I just don't know.
Wait. Slow down. I'm gonna play this back in my head. Did I hear you say I did not do the editing?
No, I didn't.
Okay. All right.
I'm at fault at there. I didn't do. I didn't edit it.
Okay.
Anybody else?
So I don't see the halo, Robert.
It's a dark halo. It's an inverse, what we call an inverse halo. See, do you see that darkening in front of you?
I didn't darken anything.
It's something has been played up, contrast or something. Negative clarity somewhere in there.
Yeah, dehaze, clarity, contrast, any number of those things, will cause that to happen. But it actually, like I say, there's this flow of light from the upper left-hand corner, and then it's like you have this dark, evil aura around you.
Right. That's why.
There was a lady.
Maybe it is his aura.
That's pretty much every day.
If they put a linear gradient from up in that top right corner and down and darkened, would that possibly have done that if it had more of a hard edge on it, or no?
No, it's too defined around him.
Okay.
It's like right here. It goes all the way around here.
Yes, all the way around.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to know if it was an effect or not intentional.
Of course.
Playing up his dark side.
Yeah.
Well, just come over to my neighborhood.
All right, moving on. Next one is no for us being pigeon-toed is normal.
Now, why is one of these sharp and one the other one's not?
Thank you, Robert. Because they're both so prominent in this, and one is so out of focus.
I don't know if Jim's here tonight. He was sick. He's got a bad cold.
No, he said he was going to bed.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't believe
go by his house and tuck him in.
That pigeon is like out of focus totally. But would you consider this low angle? It is kind of below them, but it's more like eye to eye.
This is borderline.
Okay. Next one is, if that sign isn't in days, we're toast. Altered a reality composite. And this is also Jim McWilliam, and the score is 23.2.
This one works a lot better for me.
Yes. And I actually got a really good chuckle and a laugh out of this, as it was intended to produce.
Yes.
You see that he's talking about this right here, the 26 seconds.
Right.
Yeah, somehow he must, because I guess the composite is this thing because everything else is out of focus. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
making it obvious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's intended to be humorous, and it works. That the humor value came through. It worked on that level, and it's definitely low angle perspective, and it was obviously a thought out and planned and executed image.
But the thing about this thing is that it's going to get all the way across on the other side, and that truck's going to run over it.
That's why they need 26 days. All right. Moving on to the next one. This one is the web. This is Kathy's, and the score is 23.6.
I like that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Karen.
Yeah, a lot of visual impact, but go ahead, Robert.
Now, I was going to ask Karen, why do you like that so much?
Why do I? Because I like the angle. I like the way the light is coming through and the way you can see the detail on the web.
Okay.
Why did you ask that question, Robert?
Well, because Karen, and she blurted it out rather prominently, like, when something strikes a chord, people respond, they react. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a spider web fan too. I like going out when it's foggy, like it's so places like Circle B, and they're all over the place, and you look and look and look to try to find one that's not so far down low that you get all those bushes behind it, and you've got light behind it so that it lights that up, because that's all water that's lighting up on those webs. You see all the little droplets of water. That's dew. What don't you like about it?
I like it. The only thing I would have done was take that. There's that one web that streaks across the top of it there. I would have gotten rid of that. But other than that, that's
for purposes of this exhibition night and what the assignment was, I would have moved in closer and pointed the camera up. This is more of a straight-on shot as opposed to low-angle perspective. This is borderline. It's almost shooting straight into the subject as opposed to having an upward-looking perspective.
I guess it just doesn't look upward, but that's a hill, and that trees are much higher than the web. So it's just the way the perspective looks.
Mm-hmm.
She was shooting for that one above that line. Rest is just incidental.
It's hard for all of us to get down low.
This was definitely low. It was taken in the grass, and it was shot up the hill, and it's 50. Well,
Yeah, maybe it's the up the hill part that makes it look like it's shooting straight into it.
Yeah.
Well, you shoot it with 100. What is this? 17 millimeter or 171?
17.1.
Yeah, It's
17.1. It's wide. That's a wide angle lens.
Yeah.
If it's a 17, then I'm with Jim on this one.
Okay.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah. Just need to be chipped up more. All right, on to the next one. This is the last assigned. This is Milton Puddle. This is Tori's, and the score is 20.4.
Tori, talk to me, please.
Okay, well, I was walking around after Milton had left and looking for puddles, and I saw this one where the sun is coming down in the background. I thought it was kind of cool lighting, but yeah.
What?
I don't know what to say. I know you're gonna have some why questions.
Yeah,
why did I leave that leaf in the corner?
No, not the leaf in the corner, the leaf in the water. Tell me what you're telling me about this leaf in the water.
That was there. There was so much coming down from the trees, and it was just kind of like a little reminder left over that all the leaves and branches and everything that came down. I mean, this is minor compared to what was left around the neighborhood, but I just like puddles. I like the reflections. I like the sun coming in like a sunbeam. So yeah, it was kind of like the calm after the storm, I guess.
How close to the puddle were you with your camera?
Very close. I kept it like way down on the ground, as low as I could without laying in the puddle.
All right, Tori, there's something that I really, really want you to grasp. And
Okay.
I'm not, and everybody here hear me, I am not criticizing I'm hoping to educate on this. You have a bunch of sentences that are in a paragraph, but they're disjointed. You're telling a story as though it's a video, it's a moving frame. I need that whole story to come together to rearrange those different sentences so that the sentences themselves are defined in the paragraph to tell the story. You told me a whole bunch of things, but they're not arranged as these images here are not arranged. The water, you love reflections, great. You're telling me about the storm. I need to put that together with what's happening in the foreground and the background. I need that to make sense in some sort of way. What was that you said? I don't think I'm what?
I don't think I understand what you're trying to say.
What I'm saying is I see the leaves and I see the water, and I don't see anything that tells me that there's a storm. You know that there was a storm.
Right.
I don't know that there's a storm. All I know is that you have some leaves in the water, and then there's a store in the background, a building in the background, some cars in the background.
Okay.
So I need to find a way to put that together. And you mentioned something about the light. Is that the light that's on the upper right-hand side is coming down?
Right.
Right. Okay. See, that's what I mean. You have a bunch of things that I need you to find a way to put them together to make the story. There are a lot of lights in here, but there's no story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to make sense of that.
Basically, it's kind of like the story that you know in your head is not being told to your audience with this picture.
Right. Okay. Well, my point was to do a low angle picture, really, whether it was some pine cones on the side of the street or I was trying to just get low and get something, you know, as a low angle. So I really didn't think about telling a story about the storm because I just personally, I know there was a storm, but I can't relay that in the picture. So, yeah.
If there was a tree, this tree was laying down.
Yeah.
That would have said the story.
Right. So are you saying, Robert, that there has to be a story in every picture?
No, I'm saying that what you have is no story.
Okay, yeah. Okay, but does it have to be a story in every picture?
It helps.
It helps. Okay.
It helps. Yeah. It does help a lot in certain situations because if in something, in some cases that's, giving your audience a story is what engages them in the photo and makes it be more in the realm of you doing something as an artist as opposed to, well, here's a snapshot.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I get that.
Too much.
So I think technically you got low. You were at a low angle, so you did.
Right. Yeah, that was my point. I was going low.
But they're saying try it again because you can have more of a story to go with it.
Right. So if I was to go back to the tree with the roots earlier, is that a story? I mean, I can't. It's
way more of a story. Yes.
A story in a picture. That's hard for me.
It's not hard. It really is not hard.
Okay.
What's hard is working the angles.
What we're talking about is if there are images that just have visual impact and are beautiful to look at. As soon as you see them, it's beautiful to look at.
Right.
And if it's not a case of that, then when we look at the picture, we want to see, okay, why are we being presented with this? What's the story? Why why are we being shown this? Why am I looking at a clump of leaves in a puddle on the street with some sticks around?
Yeah, okay, I get it. Like if I was looking at Lourdes's photo of Lee sitting by the water, looking out at the water and thinking, like that's a story, right?
Mhm.
You're imagining what he's thinking when he's sitting there. You're
We don't do
imagining,
that.
right? Isn't that a story? That's a story.
No, go back to Lee. Let's go ahead and solidify this. Let's go back to Lee's image. The idea about Lee, I don't care what he's thinking. I care about three things: the light, the
Okay.
exposure, and the composition. Those are the three major things I care about. Now, from that, it becomes impact. Is this light against him in the exposure, the light and the exposure, is it saying something other than, hey, there's somebody sitting there? His leg position, they're very strong. You see those muscles there?
Yeah.
Now I start to wonder. But you already captured me by having that really, really strong blue against that light that's coming down and the composition. So now my eye can wonder and formulate my own story. Now let's go back to your image.
Yeah, the image of Lee gives you both.
So here, I don't have anything to draw me in to start with. I have flare in the right-hand side. And guys, I am not trying to beat up on anybody. That's not what this is about.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all good.
Right. So I got this flare coming over the right-hand side. So that light is headed down to where? Where's it going? It's suspended. It's just suspended. And then the actual leaves themselves, they're so bunched up, there's no separation between them. And then you have the water. The water's not giving me any sort of lead in to why the leaves are there. And then you have the buildings in the background, and I'm going, okay, where is this location? And what are the cars doing there? So there's so many questions, but not enough to hold me there.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tori, you're seeing stuff, which is great, but now you've got to figure out in your brain, how to use that stuff that you're seeing to make a meaningful picture. And sometimes it's about photography. It's about eliminating things. So you want to eliminate things. We have all this stuff in front of us, and we need to get rid of some of this stuff because we've got too much in front of us. And that's
so it's confusing in the background.
Yeah, it's something that takes time, and you'll get there. You'll get there. So.
All right, now that I've done all of the deal, Lynn, bring me in a crop tool. Tap the letter X. Okay, great. Now, give me something in that realm right there. Something along that area. No, go back to the vertical. Tap the letter F. Now you see the leaves in the foreground? You see the two trees in the midground?
Right.
And you see the tree in the background?
Yeah.
I'm going somewhere now.
Okay.
You're taking stuff away. So with photography, that's what it's with painting, you're adding things in. With photography, you're subtracting. So you got to look at your scene and then kind of zero in on what's the most interesting and get rid of everything else. But it's
Wow.
You learn over time. So you're
right.
While we've gone this far, Lynn, activate your crop tool again, and let me just see and pull the top down all the way until you get into the shrubberies at that house there. Yeah, get rid of the sky. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's even better. Yeah.
We're starting to talk now. Those disjointed sentences are now starting to make a paragraph.
Right. Okay.
And that's what I'm saying.
It'll come, Tori. You'll get it. You're getting there. The tree was a much better start than this one. So you're seeing stuff. You just got to figure out how to use it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Clean it up. Make it simple.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
Part of the thing that's part of the learning process is we all know when we're there because we're there and we see the entire 360-degree world around that, and we know the before and after and the entire story. But you have to step out of your own mind and say, my audience is not here, has maybe never been here, doesn't know what's going on at this moment in time. How can I tell that to someone in a single frame that knows nothing about this that I know?
Yeah.
How can I make the picture tell them what I know from standing here?
Zero in on that one thing. And a lot of times shooting, this was a wide angle kind of situation here, but a lot of times shooting with a zoom kind of helps you. It helps you because if you're using a zoom, you're zeroing in on specific, much narrower focus area, and so it makes it easier for you to see just one thing or a story. So yeah,
and I'll say this, just due to optical mechanics, it's very hard to get down low and use a longer lens. Sometimes you have to use the combination and even know in advance that you're going to get that perspective from a very wide angle lens, but you know your frame is going to get more than you need, and you have to mentally know, yes, this wide angle lens is going to give me the perspective I need on my subject, and I'm going to have to crop a lot out on the back end. Because when you go to a longer lens, you don't get that same visual perspective. The lens is cropping it out, but you lose that perspective. So you have to also in advance consider, yes, I'm going to use a wide angle lens, and yes, I'm going to crop in on my subject.
Right.
All right, guys, enough on this one. We got 8 more to do in general.
Okay.
All right, this one is Outer Reality Coffee House. This one is Jan's, and the score is 23.5. This is really cool.
I like that.
Jan, tell us how you did this.
So this was the multiple exposure, the ICM. This is one of those. So this is over in LJ in Georgia. And I was just kind of walking around the street. It's just a small town, kind of cute little town. And so I was just doing, like I said, walking up and down the street.
So I think you said multiple exposure. Did you do, what direction did you do the ICM?
Yeah. I think all we're seeing here is a vertical and a horizontal swipe.
And you looked like you used darken blend mode.
Yes, I did use the darken. Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me, a horizontal and a vertical, which gave kind of a crosshatch kind of look to it. And what I enjoyed about this is it has the abstract look to it, but it's not so far abstract that you don't understand the details. You still understand what you're looking at, but in a little bit of an abstract painterly way. This is, in a multiple exposure ICM way, kind of like where, Brian had that one shot where he used the intermediate, not too slow, not too fast shutter speed to get that in between thing. And that you kind of got that in between going on with this that worked well.
Thanks.
It's like it probably looks better like this than it is in real life with, actually in focus.
It probably does.
Make a nice print.
That's one of the things one of the cool things you could do in small towns and cities where you could actually make it look more interesting by doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me after I saw it, I thought, I mean, I've never been to France or Paris or anything, but it just kind of gave me that feel like, going down some Parisian street or something.
Exactly. Next one is Paradoxical Plaid Posies. This is also Jan's, scores 23.3. Another multiple exposure?
Yep, same thing, except that I swiped. You can see I swiped on the diagonal.
This is one that you could actually, would be an interesting pattern to tile this. This looks like it could almost be, merged, across, up, down as, as a tile pattern.
Well, that's cool. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. Now the background wasn't blue. It was more of a, green, whatever, brownish or whatever. And I wanted to, I like the contrast of the warmer yellows against the blue. So I kind of
Yeah, that's, I was going to say the complementary colors work well. So the fact that you thought to change that to blue made it work well, with blue being complementary to the yellow. That was I'd say that was a good choice on your part.
Hey, Robert, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, you're a little heavy on your darks without the light. I really kind of wanted the one on the right hand side to be just as dark as that one right there. It's light in between two darks, and compositionally, as far as color match, it's slightly off to me.
So darken that right side a little bit.
Yeah, now I have my trilogy.
Yeah, so like this one and this one, he wants to see more of that yellowish orange on this one as well.
Yeah.
You could also go the other way. I'd be fascinated to see if you brightened up the top flower and a little bit of brightening on the bottom and made all three a little bit brighter to where where you see the three.
Yeah.
See, Jim lives in that light neighborhood. I live in the dark neighborhood.
Okay, guys. Next one is Gotta Get Up. This is Nona's. The score is 23.7.
Oh.
Nice African dog.
Nona, go ahead, Jim.
Go ahead.
Nona, I only want to see one thing on this. Are you there, Nona?
Here.
I just want to see those eyes come to life a little bit more.
Brighten up the eyes more?
Yeah, give it a little more contrast and brightness in those eyes.
Oh, okay.
I need something to hold me. I got a lot of white around there.
Yeah, it's high key.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's great.
Sorry about that.
I'm not going against that. I'm saying it's drowning out those eyes. And those eyes they're saying to me it's not an attack type of thing. It's more of a what do you call it? It's almost sad.
Okay, I did brighten up the eyes, so you're telling me I should brighten them more.
Yeah, give them a little bit more. In fact, you could do it right here, Lynn.
I think it might also help if you made the eyes just like a little bit warmer, just since it's very cool toned to get a little contrast.
I didn't change the color of the eyes. I left everything exactly the colors they were.
Yeah. I think just because it's so dark with such a bright, yeah, just lightning.
Yeah, that doesn't take much.
Yeah, I mean, it looks.
And give it a little contrast in there while you're doing it. Yes.
Okay.
And now pull back on that, and you'll see that has a little bit more of an invite to it. But what were the circumstances surrounding this? And Jim, I didn't forget you were saying something.
You want me to tell you what the circumstances were?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there was a pack of wild dogs, and this one was isolated, and I was waiting for this dog to get up and to walk towards me. And what I didn't expect was this picture where, I was hoping to get something close with the dog near me, but when I saw this with the sand, I was just really blown away because I've never had a picture like that where I get the dog, getting up with the sand moving. So I thought it was something unusual and different. I actually have the whole dog in the picture, but I cropped it to what to me was what I thought the story was.
Yep, I agree with your crop then, and I was also going to say, it was good that you had your shutter speed set so high, so that as it started moving like that, not only did you keep the animal in crisp, sharp focus with no motion blur as it started to move, but you got all those grains of sand flying in the air like that as well from having that high shutter speed. It worked. it worked on a lot of levels on this image with the fact that I know that dog was starting to move and get up, but you froze it, perfectly sharp, crystal clear in the time that it was moving.
Now this is not for composition. This is for again educational purposes. And Nona, I would not change a thing, but I need the crop tool in order to make a point. I want you to come at from bottom middle, come up to just where the sand starts. Keep going. All right. Now now come down from the top, and I want you to come into the ears. Again, this is not for to say that I wanted to crop. Go in the middle of the ears, middle of the come. Oh yeah, right. All right. Enter that and then enlarge the image. Tap the letter F. Okay. The purpose of this was to say, look at the sand color and look at the color of the top. They're the same. You see that? That's framing. That is freaking framing. And I don't even know if you even knew that.
You mean the way I did it, or?
No, I'm talking about the fact that those two colors are framed. The fact that
framing the expression in the face.
Yes.
Yeah. Top of the frame and the bottom of the frame here.
But you don't think it should be cropped?
No, I said I said at the beginning, this is only so we can look at those two pieces.
Okay.
That was it. No, I wasn't talking about it needed to be cropped. I was saying just so that we could just see those two pieces.
Oh, okay.
And how that compositionally, those two are working to frame those eyes.
Lynn, can you go back to what it looked like before you adjusted the eyes?
It's very subtle. I mean, barely. You could barely.
I can use more a little bit more if you could.
I don't want to make it look like it's not natural, though.
No, I understand. I'm looking at it in the whole sense, though.
I mean, it's.
See, to me, that looks unnatural when you do that.
Looks, yeah, like a devil dog. Yeah, I mean, I did it really crudely, so you could do it a lot better than that. But...
Yeah, absolutely. The point was to say that those eyes they just need to come up just a little bit.
Okay. All right.
All right, next one is Fighting Shade at Delicate Arch. This one is Jim Hagens, and the score is 22.6.
Zoom in where the people are, Lynn. Yeah, look around. I'm just looking overall around the image and just seeing a real softness when this has, I know this rock is all textured and everything. Everything looks very soft. Is that just optically a result of using that 2x teleconverter on that lens, or?
Mr. Hagen.
Well, yeah, I was quite a distance away from these folks. Initially, I thought the guy was proposing to the gal, and then I realized he was just sitting down, I guess, catching some shade. But I was probably a few hundred yards away.
Mm-hmm. Is this also a crop?
Oh yeah, I cropped off part of this on the left. There was people standing over there, and I just wanted these two people underneath the arch. I thought that was kind of cool. It does look kind of soft, I have to admit. I ran it through.
Yeah, I was just wondering. Yeah, that's possibly a combination of. I know there was a long lens with a 2x teleconverter and then a crop.
Yeah, otherwise
probably beyond the resolution. Probably just pushing things beyond good resolution there.
Probably so, yeah.
All right, moving on to the next one is Alter Reality, Balance Rock, and the Milky Way. And this is also Jim Hagens, and the score is 22.3.
Jim Hagens, are these three photographs?
This is two photographs.
Yeah, I see the person in the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, I took the balanced rock at about 2 in the afternoon, and
I was to
Milky
say
Way
that
about
that looks like close to solar noon from the direction of the shadows.
yeah, no, it was actually about after 2. I didn't even get into the
Yeah.
park till after
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, I would say,
But,
and noon on the clock and solar noon, by the way, are two different things.
okay.
Solar noon refers to when the sun is straight overhead, regardless of the time on your wristwatch.
Yeah. I thought it
Solar
was
noon
cool.
does not necessarily happen at 12 o'clock.
The guy standing on that rock, I thought that was really pretty cool. He was up there just taking a photo of that rock, and it gave it, perspective and or scale. It gave it scale. And then the Milky Way has always been my bucket list, and I just happened to be there that night and took that at about 9 at night.
Yep. Was it again a long distance photo of that rock?
I don't remember exactly how
Zoom
far
in,
away
zoom
I
in
was.
where the guy is, Lynn. Zoom in where the man is. Yeah, yeah. Scroll down and yeah. Let's see. Yeah.
It is it's a much better picture of him and the rock if it was just a standalone, if I did the 2 o'clock version. But I wanted to add the Milky Way with that altered reality.
Was this something that you planned to do, or something that you got the idea to do after you had the photos?
It was a combination, actually. I wanted to do the Milky Way, and I wanted to do it on one of the rocks. It just happened to be that the balanced rock was about one of the only photos I did vertically. So I was limited to which one I picked.
I'll tell you what, if you plan on doing something like this again, what a lot of people do to have it look even a little more natural when the composite goes together is as opposed to shooting the primary subject like the rock in the middle of the day like that, where you've got those hard shadows like that give it away that it's obviously not a night photo. What a lot of photographers do is actually wait until twilight when the sun has actually set, and then you have even lighting on the subject without those hard shadows that is more like what you would actually have at night if you were exposing it, at night and doing that. So a lot of photographers that want to do this type of shot will take that foreground subject in, at the time right after the sun sets, and it's still plenty of light on it, but without the hard shadows.
Yeah, I completely agree. I lightened the rock up. I had it quite darker, actually, and I lightened it up quite a bit. But otherwise, I thought it was just too dark. And I just wanted the guy in there because it gave it, scale.
Oh, it does give it scale, absolutely.
Anything else, guys? All right, next one is Almost Flying. This one is Sylvia's. The score is 23.6.
What did you say that title was again, please?
Almost Flying.
Thank you.
I thought it was a bug, but it's actually a leaf.
Yeah.
I just thought the leaves looked like it was going to take flight. And
Sylvia,
yes.
I sit in coach, first class, or in the aisle seat anywhere on this particular image. That's how impactful it is.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm. I really love this photo.
Very nice.
It's like a bird on the top.
Right.
That's why I titled it. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks almost like a dragonfly up there.
Mm-hmm. And now there's a little bit of movement on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Is there not?
It looks like it's flying.
and that background does look like sky.
Yeah.
But it does make it look, which going along with the title, that works. Right. That it may not be clouds or sky, but you could visualize it as such when you see this image and work with that title in your mind.
I don't understand how you were able to see this, Sylvia.
Well, I like flowers.
And she likes birds.
I like birds and I like flowers.
Flowers.
This was at I think this was at Boone in Charleston. Boone
Yeah.
a plantation.
Wow.
See, you were there too, Robert. You didn't even see this. Ha.
No, that's because I don't see you that way. That's one of the things that I think is so beautiful about photography. I won't go on long because I know we're right up against the time here. But one of the things about people in the photography is that people say, "Oh, that image they're so much better as a photographer than I am," rather than celebrate the fact that you see differently than the person next to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really obvious when we are in packs of photographers.
Yeah, we all see differently.
See it differently.
Mhm.
Okay, next one is Susan. This one is Susan's, and the score is 22.6.
Now, Susan,
Yes.
I do not know what attracted you to this photograph, but I do love his nails.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Enlarge it to his hands, if you would, Lynn.
Holy moly.
You got some long nails there, guys.
Oh yeah.
He needs a manicure.
And if you look over on his right hand where that bag is, the flower petal on the bag behind his one finger almost makes it look like he has a really gigantic nail on that finger.
I thought it was his nail.
And I like his bag. It says, "Be kind, be humble, be happy."
Mhm.
He looks happy.
He looks
That
very
is
happy.
his nail.
Mhm.
That's funny.
That's humorous.
Yep.
Does he have two different shoes on?
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, he does.
Oh, you think so?
No, because there is that's the same color.
Or just the angle that it's at.
Yeah,
I can't tell. Yeah.
Different shoes. Okay, next one is Luscious. This is Nona's, and the score is 23.8.
Get out of here. Go. Get out of here. Leave. Don't even do that to me.
That's great.
Leave her alone. She's sick.
Leave her alone. This is such a wonderful photograph. What do you mean, leave her alone?
Yeah.
I'm
This is
okay.
gorgeous.
Thank you. I'll tell you, it's really, when you shoot these ducks, and because I haven't been feeling well a few days ago, I went over to an area because I love wood ducks, and I actually brought a bean bag with me and put my camera upside down on a monopod and shot it at ground level. So, and I shot it with a remote versus having to hold the camera.
No. I know what you mean. You mean that this is a
remote.
remote toy. This is a remote toy. That's what it is.
Mhm. Yeah, that water level perspective is really nice with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, where does the battery go inside this duck?
It's real.
Right.
It's real.
You threw in that little red ball so he could throw it back to you.
Right.
It's a crab apple. It's a luscious crab apple.
She's crab apple.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
And she's luscious for the males that are chasing her. And the background's luscious. So I just came up with the name Luscious because I thought the whole thing was luscious.
Wow.
Obviously, you were in the morning light, were you, or the afternoon light?
It was morning.
Like, a nice little highlighted the eye too, which makes it look more lively. So.
I thought you had a flash.
No flash at all.
Wow.
All right, guys, that's it.
That's
Very
beautiful.
nice.
Thanks.
Good night.
Well, thank you all. I really appreciate everybody.
Everybody have a good week.
You too. Thanks.
It's good to see everybody
And
tonight.
Before everybody hang up, I may have lost my fence, I may have lost my shed in the storm, and I may have lost a few shingles, but I still have all of my friends, and I'm looking at you guys and thank you for being here.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Sure.
Sounds
You
good,
guys have a
man.
good
Sounds
week.
good.
See
All right,
y'all.
good night.
Yeah.
I'll see you
Bye
next
bye.
week.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Hi,